On this episode of Cape Media News, Governor Charlie Baker makes his stop on Cape Cod. Sturgis High School students invent an innovative dolphin carrier, and we take you to the 3rd annual CCYP Summit. These stories and more, this is Cape Media News. This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Sarah Colvin. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Senate has passed a bill that expands the scope of the state's room occupancy excise tax and local option tax to include short-term rentals. Think Airbnb and HomeAway. Senators say the bill is estimated to bring in an extra $34.5 million in excise tax revenue and $25.5 million in local option revenues. Cape and Island State Senator Julian Cyr added language to that bill that establishes a Cape Cod and Islands Water Protection Fund that'll provide much needed funding for water pollution abatement projects here on Cape Cod. The bill now must be signed by Governor Baker. The Cape and Islands District Attorney has new digs in Barnstable Village, and the governor helped cut the ribbon for that new building. Gabrielle Rawson reports.
Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker was on Cape Cod this week to celebrate the opening of the District Attorney's new office in Barnstable Village.
We are glad that you're glad with respect to the space. I joke with both District Attorney Cruz and District Attorney O'Keefe that over the course of my travels across the Commonwealth, both as a candidate and as governor, I've had a chance to be in and out of a bunch of the different DA's offices. And the first time I visited District Attorney Cruz's office, there was literally plywood on a lot of the windows, and some of them had holes in them, which, honest to God, I think you told me were bullet holes, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But the message he was trying to deliver to me was, you know, we really need to upgrade our office space here, and we were able to do that. And the first time I came down, this might have been also when I was a candidate, Mike expressed some of the concerns and the issues and the constraints they had with respect to their space, and I'm glad that we were able to work it out.
This office has grown with the population on the Cape. As I mentioned to you, I started in 1982 when we virtually had no office space, and we literally had a 55-gallon drum with a piece of plywood over it in the Barnstable District Court. And in the morning, we put all the files out on that table, and everyone got their cases and went into court. We slowly then developed space within the court. Then we outgrew that, and we have space now in the building right next to us. We had 26 people, I think it was, back in 1986. We now have 59. So when we have both spaces renovated, all the attorneys will have a place that they can work in, instead of being crammed 3 at a time into one little room. So it's going to help the lawyers, which is going to help the service to the community.
The governor took the opportunity to praise the DA's work battling Cape Cod's opioid crisis.
One of the other things that happened when I came down here as a candidate to visit with Mike was I spent about an hour and a half watching a very large interdisciplinary, interagency monthly meeting that at that point was taking place between the DA's office, the sheriff's office, federal officials, local law enforcement, healthcare folks. I mean, it was the first time I saw a very significant cross-discipline enterprise engaging in a discussion about how to deal with addiction. And this was probably circa 2013 or so, and way before a lot of other people discovered this issue and really started to engage in it in a serious way. And I think it's a real tribute, frankly, to all of the folks down here on the Cape that as this issue started to become a bigger and bigger deal, people didn't sort of throw up their hands and run to their corners. They actually did just the opposite, which is they came together and started to create a group that was engaged in a regular discussion and conversation every month to talk about how to deal with this issue. And I couldn't believe the people you had around that table, to tell you the truth. And I know that's an approach and a strategy that's been pursued since that time by many other folks in both the treatment side of this equation as well as in the law enforcement side. And then as somebody who's spent a significant amount of my time and the time of our administration and state government generally working this issue over the course of the past several years, I just want to say how much I appreciate the work that so many of you do in this space. As I listen to Mike go through the litany of people who've been involved in this office for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years, that's a big statement about your commitment to public service, your commitment to these communities, and your commitment to the people who are served by them. And I just want to say how much on behalf of the Commonwealth we appreciate that.
The ribbon was officially cut on Wednesday, April 4th. The office is now open for business. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.
And later that evening, Governor Baker attended a fundraiser for District Attorney Michael O'Keefe. Dolphin strandings are difficult to deal with at times and require the help of many hands. Cape Media News' Gabrielle Rawson reports on a group of local students trying to make things easier for rescuers.
Hundreds of dolphins strand on Cape Cod beaches every year. To help rescuers, Sturgis High School students have invented a new device that they presented to the International Fund for Animal Welfare. We caught up with them on Grays Beach in Yarmouth.
So we took over from the previous team and we did a lot of design changes to the dolphin cart, especially with the wheels and the handle, to really streamline the process and make it as efficient as possible to save dolphins on Cape Cod.
The team here at Sturgis received a grant from the Lemelson MIT program in the 2012-2013 school year. One thing that's unique about our program is that these teams nationwide get to pick a problem that is important to them they want to solve. And the team down here really picked something that the students relate to as part of their lives.
The Cape is one of the busiest places for dolphin strandings anywhere in the world. We have more frequent strandings than anywhere else, and a lot of that is due to our geography. Because we are that hook that sticks out into the Atlantic Ocean, it can become a trap for dolphins.
IFA officials say over 400 dolphins stranded on Cape Cod in 2017 alone. They anticipate similar numbers this year.
The current system that IFA uses right now is basically just a cart, kind of wagon with a mattress on it, but our system is a cage that lifts the sling up into it, which reduces the number of people that need to save a single dolphin, and also the sling cradles the dolphin in the sling to kind of mimic the feeling of being in water rather than being lying on a hard mattress. So this system really makes this process faster and safer for the dolphins and the IFA workers as they transport the dolphin from the beach to the IFA vehicle.
So what we want to do is we want to try start testing it in the field right away. Dolphin stranding season typically goes between December and April for us, so that's our busiest time of year. Dolphins can strand at any time of the year on Cape Cod.
To be here today is really a culmination of a large group of teams, of students, of teachers in the community. And this is really what we think convention is all about. It's a team sport.
For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rawson.
CCYP, or Cape Cod Young Professionals, is working to connect Cape Cod's emerging workforce and community leaders to engage them in the community and to support their efforts to advance personally and professionally. The organization held its third annual summit this week at the Seacrest Resort in Falmouth. I was there and caught up with Summit Committee Chair Sarah Coles and Senator Julian Cyr.
Hey everyone, we're live again from the CCYP Summit. I'm Sarah Colvin. This is Sarah Coles. Very similar names.
Yeah.
And
Sarah's a good name for our CCYP.
it really is.
Yeah.
It very much is. So we are here right in the middle. We just finished. How awesome was Christine Ernst?
She was absolutely amazing. It was just one of the most awe-inspiring talks I've heard in a long time, just about how she took her story here and someone being an absolute jerk to her and turned it into a career of thriving entertainer here on Cape Cod. It was just inspiring.
Absolutely, and the words she said about Cape Cod really brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, it definitely did.
She nailed it. So Sarah, you were really instrumental in putting this together. How's it going so far?
It's been absolutely amazing. I've poked my head into almost all the panels. Everyone seems super engaged. It looks like everybody's found something that speaks to them today, which is exactly what we were aiming for. So I saw, like, for example, the town governance panel was absolutely packed. Everyone wants to know how to get involved, which is exactly what we want you to be doing here.
It really is, and I have to say we've been talking about getting people involved for so long, and I really feel like people are starting to step up. Josh Richards, who moderated that panel, is running for selectman of the town of Yarmouth. We had a young assistant town administrator for the town of Yarmouth. Again, everyone on the panel was young. Julian Sear, our state senator. So it really seems like people are ready to jump in and get involved with local government.
Which is great because, again, that's an ongoing theme I've noticed in the panels that I poked my head in today. Everybody wants young involvement here on the Cape, and to have a panel like Town Governance full of young people, moderated by a 22-year-old, by the way, who's running for selectman, that's great. That's exactly what we're looking for. That's one of our goals here at CCYB.
Absolutely. So you did not do so well in the riddle box.
I did not. I didn't even make it past like 5 seconds in there. I did try it again after you guys were done making fun of me in front of the entire room.
That was
and I
Facebook
made it,
Live, by the way.
Oh, great. Yeah. You can go back and watch that video. Watch me make a fool out of myself. I did try to go back in again. I made it a little bit farther this time, but I just don't have this.
Right. Yes. So the long arms, you need a lot of length to be able to get that.
But a huge shout out to the Riddle girls, Ashley and Nicole. They just come and brought their A game today. That's a thriving, again, local thriving business here on the Cape. Go check them out in Mashpee Commons. I actually went last weekend and it was a ton of fun. So it's definitely worth the hour that you get locked in that room.
Awesome. And we've got a lot of great local businesses here representing a lot of wonderful local sponsors. And of course, we have some more sessions left to go. And then they're after hours as well. And that's open to the public. So if people are watching, they can come down and join us at 5:30.
Definitely. Come on down. 5 o'clock, actually.
5 o'clock.
Just over at Red's, overlooking the ocean. So it's actually the one nice day it is going to be this week. No rain. So come on down, have a drink, network with, I think, 50 to 100 of your closest peers.
Great. So what are you hoping, Sarah, people get out of the day? What are you hoping that they're talking about tomorrow?
I am hoping that everybody who went to this summit leaves today with one action item, something that they can concrete put into their daily lives to help them advance their lives here on the Cape Cod, whether it's they're inspired to join a committee with CCYP or a town committee, or whether they went to the Young Families panel and found out a new child care option for them, or when they went to dynamic local businesses and learned about an incubator program that they didn't know about before. Something that they can take back and implement, just make your lives that much better just by spending a couple hours here with us today.
And we're having some really great conversations about housing, about quality of life, about the economy here on Cape Cod. Again, sessions continue throughout the day. I'll be moderating Cape Cod Hot Topics at 3:30. Looking forward to that one. Looking forward to hearing what people are thinking about in terms of hot topics here on Cape Cod.
Good?
Yes. Okay. Hey everybody, here we are. I'm Sarah Colvin, live from the CCYP Summit at the Seacrest Resort in Falmouth with Cape and Island State Senator Julian Sear. How's it going?
It's great. Good to be with you. There's a ton of folks here. We just had a panel on young professional participation in local government and getting involved and organizing. So.
Very nice. I was here for the beginning of that session. How did it go? Do people seem like they're really ready to join boards, committees, and serve in town government?
I think so. I think that people fail to remember that really we're hungry for participation. There's so many vacancies on boards and committees. So much of this work that makes our small democracy, town government work, this is not partisan stuff. Which I think once people kind of get over the fact that that they're this isn't having to run for state senate, right? Necessarily, but you should do that. You should totally do that and totally run. Like we need more people to run. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, I think there's a real energy, and we're trying to talk about how do we make sure that young professionals are aware of all the vacancies and opportunities that we have. So many of these positions go unfilled, or you have select board races or town council races that are unopposed, and really just how do you have a more vibrant participation, and therefore then a better product and a result.
Exactly, and all of the issues that young people on Cape Cod need to stand up for: housing,
Yep.
jobs, better economy, things
Wastewater,
that exactly all
The
of the
opioid
things.
epidemic, yep.
Right, exactly, opioid epidemic. So many things that we need to hear those young people's voices in. So, what would you say to our Facebook audience to kind of
Facebook-
encourage people to get involved in and join boards?
I
and
think
committees?
one, it's like not as scary as you think it is.
Totally not
right.
as scary.
It's like totally important. Two, there's like tons of opportunities, and they're going to put you to work. People are hungry for that. Three, this isn't partisan stuff, so I think folks are a little skittish around politics these days because there's some nasty stuff going on at sort of higher levels. Locally, we need to involve, and I think four, you really can make a difference, and really by having those voices, especially I think voices here of YIMBYism, right? Yes, in our backyard. Yeah, for the Cape to have a sustainable future, we need to have smart development. We need to have housing. We need to have wastewater infrastructure for this place to be sustainable. And I think that people should really, as they begin to have that experience, I think it's important. Like, this is a learned behavior, right? Civic participation, showing up at town meeting, doing that work. It's something that takes practice and it's a learned skill.
It really
and
does.
so really lean into that. That's what I would say.
But the first thing you have to do is show up.
You gotta totally. If you don't show
All
up,
you got to do.
if you don't show up, then you're not in the room,
And
right?
you don't have to wait to be asked. You don't
Yep.
have to wait for someone to say, hey, you should go to this. If you look at your town's board committees and commissions schedule, it's all open to the public. Show up.
Yep, and we actually, on senatorsseer.com, we have a list of current vacancies. In town boards, we're going to work with CCYP to make sure that that's more widely
Awesome.
distributed. So folks can just kind of a one-click say, hey, all right, I live in this town, how can I get involved?
Awesome. Well, Julian, thank you so much
Always a pleasure, Sarah.
for participating, and
Bye,
thank
guys.
you for being here. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Every week on Cape Media News, we visit the MSPCA in Centerville to meet some adorable pets waiting for their forever homes. Gabrielle Rawson takes us inside.
This week on Cape Media News, meet MSPCA's newest adorable adoptables. Meet Chocolate Chip, the 2-month-old guinea pig, Smokey, the silver shorthair, and Roswell, the tiger-striped tabby.
I'm Brittany, Community Animal Welfare Specialist here at the MSPCA, and this is Chocolate Chip. He is a male guinea pig. He's 2 months old, and he was brought in because his family had a male and a female guinea pig, and they kept having babies, so now they have too many. He's tiny right now. He is still going to grow. He's going to get bigger. He is the perfect age to actually meet another guinea pig friend, a male, of course, or a spayed female guinea pig to bond with. He's just the right age, and he's really friendly, and he's really outgoing, and of course he's adorable. He will also have some of his litter mates will be coming in to be adopted soon as well, so we're going to have lots of baby guinea pigs for people. So if you're looking for a guinea pig, now's the time. Meet Smokey. He is a 12-year-old neutered male. He's very friendly with people and dogs, even kids, but he does not like cats. So he is a one and only cat in your family kind of man. He's very sweet, but he also has a history of urinary tract infections, so he does have to be on a prescription food, which is very common. A lot of animals nowadays are on this type of food, so it costs a little bit more than regular cat food would, but it's very affordable, and he's worth it because he's really pretty and he's really friendly. And he's 12 years old, which makes him a senior, so his adoption fee is only $50. So this is Roswell. He is a 6-year-old neutered male. He is also very sweet. He is friendly with everyone. He gets along with everyone that he's met. He hasn't lived with kids before, but he would do great with any kind of person. We're not sure about other pets because he has lived by himself his whole life, but he doesn't react poorly to the other cats in this room, so I think with the right introduction, he could do well with a cat. Dogs we're not sure about. Maybe a calmer, mellower type of dog for a cat's first time living with a dog. You don't want to have some rambunctious puppy, but again, with the right introduction, he might do well with a dog as well. He's just a lap cat. He's social, he's outgoing. He does need a diet, so you'd have to work with your vet on a proper weight management because he's a little overweight because he loves his temptations. Honestly, he'll do anything for a treat. Oh. Roswell is 6 years old, so any cat that's between 1 and 11, their adoption fee is $150, but it includes being spayed or neutered, up to date with rabies, distemper, microchipped, dewormed, the whole shebang.
If you'd like to meet Chocolate Chip, the hand-tamed baby guinea pig, or Smokey and Roswell, the super friendly felines, Come in or call the MSPCA in Centreville today.
The Army Corps of Engineers has begun work on the Sagamore Bridge, and traffic backups have also begun. Plan for extra time when heading on or off Cape. Work requires lane closures 24/7. The Army Corps says work will be done by Memorial Day. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can keep up with us online at capemedia.org. Send news, tips, story ideas, questions, and comments to Sarah@capemedia.org. With Cape Media News, I'm Sarah Colvin.